Finance company manager Daniel Cruz is suing his ex-fiancée, Shannon Kelly, for unpaid loans and for damaging his car in a drunken rage.
Yeah, it's case number 88 on the calendar in the matter of Cruz versus Kelly. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Mr. Cruz, Ms. Kelly was your former fiancée.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And according to your complaint, you believe that she owes you some money for some loans that were made a year ago by you.
Yes, ma'am.
And also, more recently, that she had a hissy fit about something and threw a potted plant at your car, causing some damage.
Yes.
Ms. Kelly says that while you were generous to her over the course of your relationship, there were never any loans, and she has no clue as to what you're talking about with regard to damaging your car. Who is this person, Ms. Kelly?
This is my boyfriend now.
Does he have any particular knowledge of this case?
He does.
About what?
Basically, when we had broken off the engagement, Dan had become very upset with the whole thing, and he had come to my house making threats, trying to get into my house, and he was there. And
well, that has nothing to do with this case.
Right. So basically,
Basically, he's just here as eye candy.
Whatever.
What's the matter? Isn't that right?
Eye candy.
All right. When were you and Miss Kelly engaged?
We were engaged on January 5th, 2004.
For how long?
We were engaged until February 20th of 2004.
And when were these loans, Mr. Cruz?
Loans were done at various times throughout the relationship.
Mr. Cruz, let's get to the biggies.
Sure.
Let's try this. Nothing under $100. I have a $100 threshold that I'm going to hear, sir.
I guarantee there's nothing under $100, Your Honor.
Perfect.
Okay.
Give me the date. Give me what it was for.
Okay. The first one, Your Honor, was for rent that I paid for in May of 2003.
And how much was that,
That
sir?
was for $400.
Tell me the conversation that took place.
The conversation?
Yes.
Okay. I asked her, I said, do you have the money for the rent? And she said she did not have the money for the rent. And she asked if I could front it for her. I said, sure, I'd be willing to do that, but you're going to have to pay me back.
Okay. Now, do you remember that May of 2003?
I did not receive my check through the mail yet, and he did propose to, like, not lend me the money, but to pay for my portion of it.
Okay. Miss Kelly, let's stop there. You say your check didn't come in the mail.
Right.
What check are we talking about?
My disability check.
How much did you get from disability?
I get about $1,000 a month.
What's the nature of your disability?
Mentally have stress, a lot of stress. Basically, I was fired from a previous job for sexual harassment, and from that, it caused me a lot of damage. And so I went to see, I was going to fight against them and sue them.
All right, so you received Social Security disability? Do you still?
Actually, no. As of a few weeks ago, no.
Now, your check hadn't arrived yet. So you must have said to Mr. Cruz, my check hasn't come yet. My check hasn't come yet. Can you front the money for me?
I don't even think I went as far as asking him that. It was, you know, he paid for a lot of things for me.
No, I don't want to hear a lot of things. Listen, I'm a very organized person. We're talking about May of 2003
Did I ask him?
and your rent. And your rent. So if you were accustomed to paying your rent out of your disability check and your check was late, the common sense would be, can you pay the rent, and when my check comes, I'll give it back to you. That's common sense. I mean, that's what one would think of what was said.
Correct.
Right. And?
And
he paid the $400, your share of the rent. Did you ever get your check?
yeah,
Did you give him back the $400?
I've tried, and he would not accept it because he said that he didn't want it.
Okay. Now, when was the next loan you made to her, sir?
December of 2003, I loaned her money for a couple of sets of car repairs, actually. First repair was December 18th of 2003. That was for $227.
Right.
The other one was December 20th, 2003. That was for $180.
Any other loans, sir?
In January 2004, there was money that I loaned her for medical expenses. I had gotten back from a cruise, okay, so I took her to the urgent care. The cost for that was $237. She did not have the money to pay it. I told her once again I would loan her the money for the $237, but that she'd have to pay me back for that as well.
And those are the loans you're talking about?
There's also one more loan. I'm sorry, I neglected to bring it up. It was in August of 2003. It was also for repairs for her car, okay, and that was for $281.68.
You want to tell me about the damage to your car, sir?
January 19, 2004, I was on my way to work. First Monday back from the cruise. On the way to work, I was rear-ended by a lady. At the time, the car was still drivable, okay, but I knew I was going to have to take it into the shop, but knowing that it was going to be in there for at least a week or so, I didn't take it right away. January 23rd, she and I had an argument. She got upset with me. She went outside. My car was parked in front of her house. She took a potted plant. She broke it on my car. Now, I had made an insurance claim on the damage that the other lady caused me. However, I didn't make an insurance claim on what she had caused because I didn't want there to be any type of legal recourse against her as far as
Because you were
criminal.
engaged.
Right.
And you stayed engaged for another month.
That's correct.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Cruz says ex-fiancée Sheindlin Kelly owes for unpaid loans and for smashing a potted plant on top of his car.
Okay, let's hear about the potted plant, madam.
I don't know what he's talking about, actually. We fought all the time.
So you mean he's making this story up?
Or if somebody else did it, I don't. He never I mean,
No.
there's. I don't know what he's.
All right. Anything else you want to tell me?
Yes, that this is not true. With the car repairs, he called me and said that he had a surprise for me, that he had recovered some funds that he wasn't aware of, and that he wanted to get my car out. And I said no, I didn't want to. I'd rather pay for it myself, and he insisted. Okay, he decided to do that. When I did get my check, again, I did give him back $200 because I didn't want anything from him.
Why didn't you want anything from him?
Because he would use it against me and throw it up to me and make me feel terrible in
What
fights.
kind of work do you do, sir?
I'm a branch manager for a finance company.
Are you currently employed, Miss Kelly?
No.
And how do you support yourself? On disability?
I was up until recently, so now I'm going to find a job.
Do you live with this gentleman here?
Yes, I do.
Do you work?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a carpenter.
Okay. Here's your problem, Mr. Cruz. Of the 5 loans that you've made to her over the course of a 6 or 7 month period, she had not made any payments. Is that right?
That is correct.
That's not a loan. That's what you give to your girlfriend. I find that it's unreasonable to believe that if, in fact, this engagement came to fruition and developed into a marriage, that we wouldn't be standing here today. Right?
Well, that's...
Not well.
Not necessarily.
Well, not necessarily. I'm telling you that if you and Miss Kelly married, we would not be standing here today. You're angry. She didn't give you a lot of money. You gave her a lot of money. I mean, altogether, it doesn't amount to a whole lot of money over the course of a relationship that spanned a couple of years. But those aren't loans. Loans get repaid. Even marginally, they get repaid. And anybody who's... You're in finance?
Yes.
Doesn't loan more money when the first loan hasn't been paid, and doesn't loan money for a third time when the first 2 loans haven't been paid, and doesn't loan money for the 4th time when the first 3 loans haven't been paid. Because if you do that, you're soon going to be out of business, unless you're operating from your heart, because you're involved in a relationship. And then it no longer becomes an arm's length contract. It becomes a situation where, well, if the relationship works out, so it's over. But if it doesn't, I don't want to be out this money. So, Mr. Cruz, get over it. Let me see pictures of the car where she dropped the potted plant. What's in that box?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, I don't have pictures, okay? And the reason being for that is because she called me the next day. She apologized to me for doing it. And when I went to her house, I showed her what she had done to the car. She didn't realize it. And she looked at it, she said, "I'm sorry." She said, "But you are lucky. I meant to put it through your windshield." And I said, "Well, if you put it through the windshield, it probably would have cost less." I don't have pictures, but I do have the pieces of the pot that she broke on it. That's what's in the box.
You think, sir, that that I'm going to look at the pieces of the pot without pictures of the car? Mr. Cruz.
Yes.
And she called you up and she apologized. Let me ask you this question, Mr. Cruz. Between the 23rd of January, when she caused this damage to your car, is that what you told me?
Yes.
Okay. And February 20th of 2004, you were in fact engaged. Is that right?
Yes.
Were you intimate during that period?
Yes.
You forgave her. You forgave her, sir. She feels as if you forgave her. I feel as if you forgave her. You got to put a period and say, I'm moving on. And whatever money it was, it's a cheap lesson. And I'm very, very lucky that I didn't hook my wagon to this star, which would have caused you in the long run in your life, Mr. Cruz, far greater damage. You could have done the absolutely unthinkable and stupid thing to have married this lady.
True.
Right?
That's true.
Instead, this gentleman's going to marry her. That's going to be his problem.
Let him deal with it.
Right? Right.
Yeah, let him deal with it.
That's all. Good luck, sir.
Yep.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She's getting hers now. I mean, you can see with what she's with and what she's doing now, which is nothing, and what she'll always become in her life is nothing.
Basically, he just wants to, you know, demolish whatever life that I do have.
She was cheating on me with the gentleman she brought in the courtroom today.
He was tried to commit suicide a couple times over me. He even was put into the hospital for 4 days in the mental institution for throwing me across the room and bruising my table.
Look out for freeloaders like this one over here. She's going to cost you a lot of money, cost you a lot of heartache, and she laughs over here, but I'm going to get the last laugh when I see what her life has become.
Court manager Ramona Clark is suing daycare provider Jennifer Morgan for damage to her home and an assault. Jennifer claims Ramona's husband sexually assaulted her 13-year-old cousin.
Yeah, this is case number 300 on the calendar on the matter of Clark versus Morgan. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat.
Miss Clark, it is your claim that the defendant came to your home. She came with other relatives of hers. She damaged your home and assaulted you. And this was all over an incident that involved your husband, who I see is not present today. Ms. Morgan says she was very angry with your husband because he had sexually abused a cousin of hers. And she did, in fact, come to the house, but she neither damaged the house nor did she assault you. How do you know each other?
My husband and her boyfriend are childhood friends.
When did this sexual assault allegedly take place, Miss Morgan?
In July of 2003.
Where did it allegedly take place?
At my house.
And what was Miss Clark's husband doing at your house?
He was originally at the bar with my ex. She came into the bar, took his keys from him because he was there. He called my house, didn't have anywhere to go, so my ex went and picked him up and let him come spend the night at our house because they were fighting.
And how old is this cousin of yours?
13.
Now, I gather that that case has been resolved. Is that right?
He's in jail for it now.
And he pled guilty to assault.
Sexual assault.
Sexual assault? Mm-hmm. How long is your husband incarcerated?
He's incarcerated for another year.
How long has he been incarcerated?
A year. I don't know how that...
Do you have a different...
Yes.
Go ahead.
He took the plea bargain. They gave him, I forget how many years it was, but he has to stay in jail for 10 years because part of his plea bargain was to waive his right to all appeals and modifications.
And this happened July what?
I believe it was around the 26th.
So on the 26th, you were advised by your 13-year-old cousin that
Yes.
this assault had taken place?
Yes.
Who went over to the plaintiff's house?
Me, my sister, her husband, and my ex.
Why did you go over there?
Because we were mad.
That the way you respond?
No, we didn't go over there to do anything to her. In fact, when we arrived to the house, I am the one who knocked on the door, and I asked for her because I felt sorry for her. I really did. I mean, how can you tell somebody your husband just raped my 13-year-old cousin? She came to the door, then he came to the door. When he came to the door, he stepped outside. He was a nervous wreck. He was like this. He knew what we were there for. As soon as he steps outside, my sister's husband went after him. They fought on the sidewalk. She comes outside.
Just a second. That is a mistake. You understand that. That was the wrong thing to happen.
Right, I know that, but
Just
I
a
didn't
second.
do it. I didn't.
Miss
kick the door
Morgan,
in.
listen to me. What did you go there for?
To confront him for my 13-year-old cousin.
All right, Miss Clark, let me hear you. What happened when she arrived there?
When her and her family members arrived, they were beating down the door. My daughter here and my husband were on their way down the steps to find out what the heck was going on because it was throughout the neighborhood you could hear them screaming obscenities and everything. Just as Brandy went to open the door, it came open. I mean, they just piled in. In the process of Dion being behind Brandy, she got hurt the worst. They were dragging him out of the house. and throwing him everywhere, beating and punching him. And when I came out the house, Jennifer came at me with a broken, rusty rake, and she went and shoved it in my stomach, and I fell against steps, and Brandy went after her, and another girl went after her. And
You are amazing.
It was
You are
no
amazing.
way.
Miss Morgan, say nothing until it's your turn. Do you understand? Look at me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Go ahead.
We were just outnumbered. We just had to just go in the house. My other daughter called the police because it was horrible. It was like a rumble, tumble, everything. And they were.
Do you have any photographs of your house?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see them, please. Tell me about your injuries.
Well, I didn't really have too many injuries because I just fell into the steps, but my husband was really beat up.
Well, I'm not here to discuss your husband. And while I absolutely abhor what happened that day, and I'm not talking about the night before, I'm talking about that day and Miss Morgan and her family and friends coming to your house, which I think is wholly inappropriate. Uncross your hands. Your husband's injuries are your husband's injuries. My question to you, Miss Clark, is it is clear to me that Miss Morgan was not alone. This young lady was with her, according to her, as well as 2 other men. Why didn't you sue them?
I didn't even know who they were, and that lady right there wasn't present.
I wasn't present?
No, she wasn't present.
Okay.
Step up. You were there?
Yeah.
Good. What's your name?
Sarah Weiser.
When you grow up, your top is going to fit your pants so that it all comes together. When you come to court, we don't do that. You're supposed to come to court looking like you're coming to court. You were there that day? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh is not an answer.
Yes.
That's better. What did you go there for?
To confront her husband.
Why? That's what the police are for.
Because he raped our 13-year-old cousin.
That's what the police are for.
And we called the police.
Before you went over or after? It's not an answer.
Same time.
What do you mean the same time? What does that mean the same time?
We called her mother. Her mother called the police while we were in pursuit to her house.
What do you do for a living? I'm speaking. What do you do for a living?
I do daycare.
You do what?
Daycare.
For children?
Yes. I have 4 children.
How old are you?
28.
28, 4 children. Do your 4 children all have the same father?
No.
How many different fathers do your 4 children have?
2.
Do any of them live with you?
Any of my children's fathers?
Yes.
Yes.
Which ones?
The one that came to her house.
I thought you said he was your ex.
He is my ex, but we still live together.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Ramona Clark says family acquaintance Jennifer Morgan owes for damage to her home and for an assault. Jennifer says Ramona's husband sexually assaulted her 13-year-old cousin.
Let me explain something to you, Miss Morgan. You had absolutely no right, either with or without Miss Bear Midriff over here, to go to her house that day with either alone or with anybody else. You had no right to terrorize her, and you had no right to terrorize her daughter.
They were not touched. They were not touched.
I said terrorize, you idiot!
This originally started as a criminal case. She filed charges against me. The state dropped them.
Let me tell you something, madam. The state where you reside may decide that whatever actions you did that day were motivated by female testosterone that was running in your blood and by the testosterone of the 2 idiot males that you were with. But in this country, we don't do what you did. Because according to what you told me when you started, this lady came to a bar where her husband was. He was drunk. She took the car keys away so that he wouldn't drive, so that he couldn't hurt himself or hurt somebody else. So she doesn't sound like she is a lunatic. It sounds like she was trying to do the responsible thing. Your ex, genius that he is, said, come and sleep in my house. So brought him back to the house, and somebody wasn't minding the store at your house. Because if you have a drunk man staying in your house, it seems to me you watch him very, very carefully. You certainly don't respond to that kind of action, the kind of action that he committed, by going to his house and terrorizing his family. Idiot. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,500. That's all. Out!
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It's a shame that the vicious nature of some people can destroy the lives of others.
I hope it gave her a reason to really want to stick by her husband, who's in jail for 10 years.
There was no DNA evidence.
It was 1 in 500 quintillion that it was him.
It's crazy. All kind of stuff going through my head, wondering if If the accusations are true,
It was up to us to bust him for what he did, and that's what we did.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Clark versus Muir, step forward, please.
34-year-old loan officer Diana Clark is suing her ex-boyfriend, 24-year-old landscaper Brian Muir, for an unpaid loan for bail. Brian says it wasn't a loan, but rather a very nice gesture.
How old are you, Miss Clark?
34.
Do you work?
Yes, I do.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a loan officer.
Ever been married?
Yes.
Have any kids?
Yes.
How many?
2.
Do they live with you?
Yes, I do.
You their sole support?
Yes.
You're a nice-looking woman.
Thank you.
Got nice dimples. How old are you?
24.
He's too young for you.
Yeah.
Even when they're 34, they don't know much.
I agree.
But when they're 24, they know less. What do you do for a living?
I'm a landscaper.
Who do you live with?
My daughters,
How old are your daughters?
5 and 6,
Where is their mother?
not around.
For how long?
About a year now.
Who helps you care for your children while you're landscaping?
Their grandmother.
Okay. Miss Clark, according to you, you loaned Mr. Muir $500 for bail because they were going to come and arrest him unless he sort of liquidated some warrants that he had for something that I'm going to find out.
Correct.
And you were dating at the time.
Yes.
He paid you back a little bit,
A little bit.
but he didn't pay you back the whole thing, and then he stopped taking your calls. Mr. Muir says that it was a nice gesture on your part, but not a loan. That's your defense. Is that
Correct,
right?
ma'am.
Why did you need bail, sir?
Well, I had got into some trouble. I had got into a fight in my neighborhood. And the result of it, they put a warrant out for my arrest for third-degree assault and breach of peace. And
Why did they put a warrant out? Did you not go to court when you were supposed to?
not right away, ma'am.
No. Did you expect an engraved invitation this next time?
No.
Did you expect someone to come in your house in a tuxedo, perhaps, and bring you over to jail? You just decided to blow it off.
No, I was waiting until I was financially stable to take care of.
You were waiting until you felt like it.
No, I was waiting until I was financially stable.
Financially stable. And when did you think that was going to be, Mr. Muir?
Well, I had just started a new job, so I had planned on doing it as soon as possible.
How did Miss Clark find out there was a warrant outstanding for you?
It was brought up in a conversation that we were having at a friend's house.
And when you told her about the warrant, Mr. Muir, what did you say?
I just said, I have a warrant, and I have to turn myself in.
And she said,
And she said, anytime you want to turn yourself in, I'll be glad to help you out.
how much later did you call and tell her you needed her help?
It wasn't but a few days.
So a few days later you called her or you went to see her and told her, well, I'm ready to turn myself in, I need your help?
Well, I was over a friend's house, and when she came over there, I told her that I was going to turn myself in, and that's when she offered to bail me out, Your Honor.
How did you know that he needed bail money when he turned himself in?
He called me from the bail bondsman's phone.
Really?
Yes.
You forgot about that.
Actually, Your Honor, I did not call her from the bail bondsman's phone. The bail bondsman lives next door to my friend, and I had talked to him beforehand, and I had let him know that if I needed to be bonded out, that I was going to use him.
Go ahead, Miss Clark.
No, he called me from the bail bondsman's phone and said that he was at his home and he was going to be turning himself in. Could I go ahead and bail him out like I had told him I would do?
When did he make his first payments to you?
April 16th.
And when did you bail him out?
April 13th.
And how much did he give you on April 16th?
$50.
When did he make his next payment to you?
April 23rd.
How much?
$40. There was, just so you know, there was a previous amount that I had loaned him also. So that part of what I have written down here was applied to what he owed me previous to that as well.
What did you lend him money for in the past?
He wanted to go back to his hometown to see his friends for his birthday.
Your Honor, if I may, the money that I did pay her back, she had brought me home to see my friends and family. The money that I did pay her back was the money that she loaned me. She never said I had to pay her back for this bail, Your Honor. I paid her back $130. That's what she loaned me when I went to Boston.
$130.
Yes, ma'am.
How much did he pay you altogether?
$230.
So you gave her $100 in interest?
No, I only gave her $130.
She says you gave her $230.
I only gave her $130. Your Honor.
Are you sure about
I'm positive about
that? So that if I find that this was a loan, You owe her $500, not the $370 that she says. Is that right?
That would be correct.
Good. Mr. Meir, did Miss Clark assault anybody?
No, she harassed.
No, just a second.
No,
Did she
ma'am.
assault anybody?
No, ma'am.
Did Miss Clark have a warrant issued for her arrest because she blew off letters from the police?
No, ma'am.
Who did? Raise your hand.
I did.
Raise your hand.
Me.
Higher. Raise your hand all the way
I
up.
did.
What makes you think that she should take care of your bail? She's a working woman. She's got 2 children that she supports. Why in the world would she pay for you and you feel no drive to pay her back as quickly as possible?
She has spent abundance of money on me. Abundance. She took me out for my birthday and spent well over $1,000. If that was the case,
foolish.
If that was the
foolish,
case,
because I want to tell you
all her money
something. She must see something in you that I don't.
It's the good looks, Your Honor.
Have you looked in the mirror lately?
Yes, I have.
Mr. Meir, you have 2 children, 2 little children that you say are in your custody because their mother is off somewhere. That means that the only chance your children have of growing up to be responsible adults is if they have you as a responsible parent.
Correct.
You were foolish enough to hook up with somebody who turned out to be a non-parent and dumb enough at your age to make 2 babies. Now it's your responsibility to grow up and fly right. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $370, because that's all you're suing for. That's all. Out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Thank you.
She should find somebody her own age and not somebody as young as me.
He's going to say anything he wants to make it look like he's a better person than he really is.
She approached me and she wanted to get together with me, and that's how it started.
Well, we met at our kids' bus stop, and it proceeded from there. Yeah, I did approach him.
To be older, you should know better.
There was a big age difference there, and I should probably not have done anything with him.
Care provider Christine Coughlin and her 5-year-old daughter, Katara, are suing their neighbors. Customer service rep Chanel Noel and her daughter, 8-year-old Sequoia. Christine claims Sequoia purposely scratched her car with a rock. Chanel is countersuing, claiming Christine's son slashed her tires.
Order. All rise. This is case number 341 on the calendar in the matter of Coughlin versus Noel. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Ms. Coughlin, it is your claim that this young lady, I assume this young lady, vandalized your car. She was a friend of your daughter's. They played together. For some reason, they had a misunderstanding, and you claim that she took a rock, scratched your car. Ms. Noel says that her daughter was not alone. Don't deny that she did it, but you say she was not alone, and that in retaliation for that, your son slashed the tires on her car. So she's got a counterclaim. Are you neighbors?
Yes.
How far away do you live from each other?
Right next door.
What was the date of the incident involving your car?
August 29th, 2004.
You have pictures of the car?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see pictures of the car. What makes you think Sequoia damaged your car?
They were all outside playing, all the children, with Katara, and Katara came in the house crying, saying that Sequoia upset her. So I said, okay, we'll stay in the house. After that, I went out to do laundry, and I noticed a big scratch on the side of my car.
Okay. Now, what proof do you have that Sequoia did that damage to your car?
It's in the police report. She had admitted doing it.
Can I see the police report, please? Sequoia, you want to tell me why you scratched the car?
Because her and her husband and her son, they were constantly keep calling me like retarded, well, I don't want to say
it.
They kept calling me a and
That's
stuff.
not true.
Yeah.
Shh.
and they kept going on with it, and I only thing that I did was tell my mom.
So that's why you scratched the car?
Well, they were calling me retarded and stuff.
I'm asking you a question. That's why you scratched the car with a rock? You can't do that. Did your mother tell you you couldn't do that? Well, you can't. If somebody says something nasty to you to hurt your feelings, that makes them wrong. That makes them not smart. But that doesn't give you the right to damage their property. Got it? Did your mother tell you that?
Yes.
Okay, how much is it going to cost to fix the paint on the car?
Approximately $921.
Do you have an estimate?
Yes, I do. It was scratched before. The estimate I do have, I'm sorry, is $361.56.
361.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you want to tell me about the damage to your car and when that happened?
September 19th.
What happened?
I went to take my son to his football game. I came back to pick her up to go to the football game. I came back downstairs and my tires were sliced.
Who did it?
Well, I assumed my next door neighbors did it.
Well, what proof do you have that they did it?
I didn't have any proof at the time.
Do you have any proof now?
Actually, I have a witness that overheard her son bragging about the second time they sliced my tires 3 days after that.
I'll hear the witness. You're the son, I assume.
Yes, ma'am.
Stand up. Tell me who you are.
Tanisha Cooley, their babysitter.
What do you know about the tires being slashed on Mrs. Noel's car?
The day after the tires were slashed in school, me and my friend were walking down the hall. We were walking behind him and his friends. And I heard him saying that, yeah, yesterday me and my dad sliced our neighbor's tires.
And when you heard that, what did you do?
Right after school, when Chanel came home, I told her and my mom.
Same day, is
Yes.
that right? Were you angry?
Yes, I was.
And what about your father? Was he angry?
Yes.
That's not a way to respond. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
So why did you do it?
I did not.
So you're telling me this young lady is lying about this
I
last... Yes. Why do you think she would make up a story like that?
I don't know.
Who would you think would have another motive to slash their tires?
Nobody to my knowledge.
Not you or not your father? So you think she's lying?
Yes.
Did you call the police?
Yes, I did.
Can I see the police report, please? You can sit down. Could you stand up, please? Is this young lady your daughter?
Yes.
I want you to think back to the 23rd of September. I want you to tell me about the conversation you had with your daughter when she came home from school.
She told me that she overheard Michael saying that him and his father slashed the tires.
She told you that on the 23rd?
Yes.
What's the name of the person that he was with?
I don't know them.
In school? You don't know who they are?
No.
How many other boys was he with?
2.
You have a bill for the tire that was slashed on the 22nd?
I don't have a bill. I paid to get my car done. Here.
Well, I need a bill for the tire. That's what we're talking about. Tire was $16.53?
Used one.
Look, I believe her. I just want you to understand that. Whether you were just bragging, I don't know. But I believe that she heard you say it. So I'm deducting $16 from the award of $361 that you're entitled to have your car painted. I haven't a clue why people who were neighbors engage in a course of conduct to make their lives absolutely miserable. It's just so absolutely ridiculous to me. There's no question that your daughter behaved badly. I assume that as a parent, you told her that when someone says something that's hurtful to you, they are really just stupid, uninformed people, and not to pay any attention to it. I assume that you had that conversation with her. And if you didn't, you have to have that conversation with her, that she can't take out her frustrations, because she's just going to end up in trouble. What?
Well, she wrote on our wall and on our hallway wall, and my mom has to pay for that. And she wrote on theirs, too.
Are you making an excuse for yourself?
Mm-mm.
Don't. If she does something wrong, like write on a wall, how old is she?
5.
5? And how old are you?
8.
You're supposed to know better, and you're not supposed to make excuses for doing the wrong thing. And you're certainly old enough to know better. All right, take your children home. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $345. I've deducted the $16 for the tire that your son and probably your husband was responsible for. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I've also had my tire slashed 3 times.
They got problems. I'm done.
Her daughters pushed shopping carts into my car.
I'm just mad.
The little girl is very angry. She's very angry. The mother works 12-hour, 14-hour days, 6 days a week.
She was mean to me.
Something that's going to be ongoing until Mrs. Noel gets help with her child.
Is suing his ex-girlfriend, Kim Hicks, and her son, 15-year-old Wendell Hicks, for medical bills resulting from a fistfight with Wendell. Wendell says Jeff had been spreading rumors about him and a female friend.
Yeah, this is case number 275 in the case of Radcliffe versus Hicks. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats.
Mr. Radcliffe, you and this lady, Miss Hicks, had been involved in a relationship. And according to your complaint, there was an altercation where you came to her rescue. She was having an altercation with her son, I assume this young man. As a result of that, you were injured, and Miss Hicks agreed to pay your medical bills. She has not done so. You are no longer a couple, and you want your medical bills paid. Ms. Hicks says that you were the aggressor in this altercation with her son. She is suing you for damaging her home and for injuring her son. Is that right?
Correct.
When did this take place, Mr. Radcliffe?
It was July 8th, 2003.
Tell me how it started.
Well, we received a phone call at the house.
Who's we?
My son and I.
Who answered the phone?
My son. And
Step up. I wasn't saying hello. I was telling you to stand up. Tell me your name.
Alex Ratcliffe.
Alex, did you receive a phone call on the 8th of July?
Yes, I did.
Who was on the other end of the phone?
Initially, I heard Kim screaming in the background.
Kim, is that you? Miss Hicks.
Miss Hicks. I initially heard her screaming in the background, but Wendell was talking to me, and he asked to speak to my father. And when I went to go give my dad the phone, I heard her in the background screaming for help and asking for my dad.
You went and got your father?
Yes, I went and got my dad and gave him the phone.
What happened when you picked up the phone? Who was on the other end?
it was Wendell Hicks on the phone indicating he was coming to my house to kick my butt, him and 4 boys, because I was supposedly spreading rumors about him and some girl in the neighborhood.
So he said he was coming to your house?
Yes. And he hung up. I returned the phone call back. Could still hear Kim hollering and screaming bloody murder in the background.
What did you hear?
She was just screaming for help.
Well, what did you actually hear her say?
For Wendell to leave her alone.
Okay.
And when the phone call came, I called back because he had hung up, and I'd asked for him to explain himself. For why is he coming to my house? He said it was due to because I supposedly spread some rumor about him putting a hickey on the neighbor girl's neck. And so I asked to speak to his mom because I could hear her in the background just screaming bloody murder, and so he hung up the phone. And so I felt the need to go there because she had explained to me many times before.
Just a second. Don't tell me what she explained to you before. Tell me what happened when you got there. You felt the need to go over there.
I went over there, knocked on the door, and the boy had let me in. I come in the door, and
Which boy let you in?
Wendell Hicks let me in.
Go ahead.
He opened the door, let me in, and I come through the door, and to the right of me was 2 friends of hers in the house. And Wendell proceeded to go back around the corner where he had his mom pinned in the corner, and she was screaming.
How was she pinned in the corner?
Just backed up to the corner.
Okay, he didn't have his hands on her.
No, he was right up in her face.
No, but he didn't have his hands on her.
Not at this time.
Okay, so what did you do?
I come up around him, come around the countertop there, and told him to leave her alone. He turned and swung at me and hit me in my left ear with his right arm. At that time, I took him down to the ground and set on him. And he kept trying to hit me in the face, and I grabbed his wrists to avoid him hitting me. I was sitting on him, and I kept asking, "Are you finished? Is this out of you?" And he said, "Yes." On top of him saying a lot of other foul things, how he was going to shoot me and my kids, and he was going to kill my dogs and burn my fence down. And after about 15, 20 minutes of trying to calm him down, I asked him, "Are you finished?" And finally he said, "Yes." I got up, we kind of shook it off, and the next thing I know, he's coming charging at me with a windmill effect. And in doing so, I put him in a headlock, like with his body sticking out this way. And I wrenched up on him to keep him from doing any more damage. And in doing so, I separated this cartilage here in my chest.
Mm-hmm.
And probably another 15, 20 minutes to hold him like that. A few other cuss words were coming out, and I asked, "Are you finished?" And finally he said yes. His sister come through the door after I just let him go, and she backed him all the way down the hall. and that was the last I'd seen of him.
Okay. How long had you been seeing his mother in July of 2003?
Approximately a year.
And after July of 2003, did you continue to see her?
Not right away. She kept calling, complaining because I would never take her nowhere, never do nothing with her, never let her meet any of my friends. I told her to go find a new boyfriend. And so it's like, it was no big deal to me, and she did. She found another one. She kept calling me, telling me how the progress was going. Finally, after about a couple of weeks, she broke it up with him for whatever reason. Then she eventually started calling me all the time.
When did you stop seeing her?
As of this year of May, Mother's Day weekend.
And when did you start getting these bills?
I was getting these bills probably 6 months after the incident had happened. You know, she said she was going to take care of it because her son had done some damage to my fence back in June. She took care of that immediately. She said she'd take care of these medical bills as well because
When did she tell you she was going to take care of the medical bills?
Pillow talk. It was when we were, you know.
And you believed her?
Oh, yeah. I had no doubt to.
Okay. How old are you, Wendell?
I'm 15.
Who was this girl that you supposedly gave a hickey to?
Emily.
Is Emily your girlfriend?
No.
Did you give her a hickey?
Yes.
So why were you angry at Mr. Radcliffe for telling people that you gave Emily a hickey?
Because he was spreading rumors around the trailer court, and I had
Spreading rumors about what?
About me giving her hickeys and a bunch of other stuff.
Well, it wasn't a rumor about you giving her a hickey. According to you, you gave Emily a hickey.
Yeah, I did.
You did? Okay, so why did you call him that day? Were you just angry?
Yeah, I was mad that he was spreading my family business around the trailer court.
Okay, so when you called him, his son answered the phone?
Yes.
And what did you say to his son?
I asked to talk to his dad.
What did you say to him?
I was like, Jeff, why are you spreading rumors around?
And what did he say to you?
He's like, what in the F are you talking about?
And what did you say to him?
I was like, about me and Emily. And he was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. So he hung up with me. So I went back to my mom's house and I asked her why. She told him because it was supposed to stay between me, Emily, and Emily's stepdad.
Because Emily's stepfather was angry with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you went home and you confronted your mother?
Yes.
And you were angry with your mother for telling him
yes.
things? And then did you call Mr. Radcliffe back?
He called me back.
While you were confronting your mother?
Yes.
And when you were confronting your mother, were you raising your voice?
No.
No. Did your mother admit to you that she had shared your secret with Mr. Radcliffe?
Yes.
And you told her she had no business doing that?
Yes.
You see how we get into the story?
Did very good.
It's a whole different story than she wrote in her answer, but at least we're going to get to the bottom of it. You got to start with the most vulnerable one.
That's right.
Right? You got to start with the one who's not quite swift enough to tell you a lie. Now, when Mr. Radcliffe came over to the house, were you still arguing with your mother?
No.
What happened when he came into the house?
He came up, banged on the door. The door came off the latch. He just came in, and then he came up and got in my face, and I asked him what was going on.
He got in your face?
Yes.
And what did he say when he got in your face, Wendell?
You effing little punk.
Well, he must have been angry because you must have said something to him, Wendell, like you were going to come over and kick his ass and get your friends to come over because he was spreading these rumors about you and Emily's hickey. Did you threaten him?
No.
You mean you just said why? You just said like this?
I said it in a rude voice, yes.
In a rude voice?
In a rude voice, yeah.
And did you have the same kind of rude voice when you were talking to your mother?
No.
You mean you went over to her and you were very, very calm when you say, why did you share private information?
Yes.
With
yes,
Mr. Radcliffe? You said it quietly.
Not quietly, but in a normal voice.
Now, did you have any injuries as a result of this altercation with Mr. Radcliffe?
Yes, my back was killing me.
Your back was killing you?
Yeah.
When did it stop killing you?
Oh, a couple days after.
Now, your sister, at one point, came into the room when you were having this altercation with Mr. Radcliffe.
Yes.
Your sister's name is?
Jessica.
And how old is Jessica?
She's 19.
And Jessica took you out of the room?
Yeah.
Right. She said, calm down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Shooting fish in a barrel.
Oh, you're good. You are good.
Can I see your medical bills, please? Now, Mrs. Hicks, did you ever tell Mr. Radcliffe that you would pay his medical bills?
No, ma'am. The only injuries he got was a couple rug burns When he come up to my door and was banging on my door, he busted my door to pieces. He come in, me and Wendell was standing in the kitchen talking. He got in his face. Wendell goes, "Jeff, can you back up?" And Jeff took his hands like this, went boom into the side of the cabinet, and Wendell was going like, you know, like this. "What are you doing?" He just started attacking him. He took him down. He broke my stove. He had him on the floor, punching him in the face.
Miss Hicks, listen to me very carefully. What you're telling me is that Mr. Radcliffe assaulted your son for no reason.
They got into
Shh. Is that right?
Yes.
And I have a question for you. After July 8th, 2003, did you ever sleep with Mr. Radcliffe?
Yes.
Even though he assaulted your son without provocation. Is that right?
Yes. It was 3 days after the incident.
So 3 days after, it wasn't even 6 months later, it was 3 days after the incident that you, the mother of this assaulted child who had terrible backache from being assaulted without provocation from Mr. Radcliffe, went to bed with him.
Yes.
Mr. Radcliffe, this is your problem, sir. I believe what you told me with regard to how this incident happened. Not everything. I think that you probably busted the door a little bit. I'm not sure whether Wendell opened the door calmly and said, "Why don't you come on in?" I'm not sure about all those things. What I don't believe is that she agreed to pay your medical bills. And we know, I gather from these papers, that there is currently an action pending against you for stalking Miss Hicks. Now, I'm not getting into that, but according to Miss Hicks, you did not file this claim for your medical bills until a couple of days after she either filed and or served you with this stalking complaint, which is well over a year later, a year after the incident. So the issue that I have to resolve is whether she put you in harm's way or you put yourself in harm's way when you went over to her house. And there were several things that you could have done on the 8th of July. One of them is if you actually believed that Miss Hicks was in danger, you should have called the police.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today, girlfriend Kim Hicks and her son, 15-year-old Wendell Hicks, promised to pay his medical bills after he had a fist fight with Wendell.
Now, you were angry because Wendell over here opened up his big fresh mouth to you and you went over there. And this altercation occurred because of that, because if you were genuinely concerned with Miss Hicks, you would have called 911 and said, "Get a squad car over there as soon as possible. Her son's beating her up." So you were annoyed with Wendell and you went over there to confront him. And if you got hurt, that's the way it goes. Case is dismissed. That's all. So's your counterclaim.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He broke my door down. He assaulted my child.
He has no respect for no one, let alone himself.
She showed my dad, myself, and my brother all the bruises that she's gotten from all of her kids before.
I have never had any bruises on my body.
He's a bully of the neighborhood. He wants to pick on anybody and everybody.
They can think what they want to think. I know the truth.
The only reason why she filed this stalking order is because I've got a new girlfriend.
Barbershop business. The defendant left your employment.
Correct. I opened my own business.
You signed this non-compete agreement.
Yes, I did, but under duress.
You cannot open up a competing business 2.8 miles away from her.
This is crazy.
That's what she's entitled to do. She's the boss, applesauce.
This is Judy Justice. Nicole Messino is suing her former employee, Felicia Stella, for breach of contract, slander, and loss of income.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case number 3095, Messino versus Stella.
Thank you. You're welcome. Miss Messino, you have a barbershop business.
Correct.
How long have you had it?
Since 2016.
How many people did you have working for you when you had the most people working for you, the most barbers working for you?
Currently, right now, I own 2 barbershops, and right now I have 11 employees.
When did you purchase the second shop?
The middle of December.
2023.
2023, yes.
The defendant worked in the initial shop.
That's correct.
Starting when?
In 2017.
Until when?
Until August 6th of 2022.
From what I read, all of the people that worked for you up until a particular time, and that would probably be around 2022, were 1099 employees, which means they were independent contractors. So at the end of the year, you gave them a Form 1099, they took care of their own taxes.
Correct.
At some point, according to you, you decided to make everyone employees.
Correct.
And at that time, you also decided to have all of your people sign agreements. And the agreements provided that they could not open up a barber business within a certain radius of your business.
Correct.
The defendant left your employment and opened up her own barbershop.
Correct.
She left your employ on August the 6th of 2022?
Correct.
And when did you open up your own barbershop, Miss Della?
October 25th of 2023.
October 25.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was 2022. I apologize.
May I see a copy of the contract that you had with Miss Stella? Because what you're suing for is breach of contract.
Correct.
This contract. And slander. Well, you signed this agreement, madam.
Yes, I did, but
Okay,
under duress.
Just a second. I didn't ask you anything. You signed this agreement. I mean, I understand what you are alleging. You're alleging that you signed it under duress. Now, Sarah, would you look up for me non-compete agreements, Pennsylvania?
Sure.
The Pennsylvania law on the parameters of a non-compete. How many miles?
It's 3 to 5 miles in the state of Pennsylvania.
Oh, well, that's what Sarah's going to check.
I'll let you know. Give me 1 second.
Okay, so you signed this non-compete agreement. It is your defense that she threatened to terminate you if you didn't sign it. That's your defense.
No, I didn't.
To this.
And more.
Yes.
There's more than that as well.
But that's your defense to this, to signing this agreement, that she said either you sign it,
yes, ma'am,
or I'm going to fire you.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's okay. She could do that. It's our business.
In the state of Pennsylvania, there's contract law. There's three things that go with that. There's an offer, and then there's an acceptance and consideration.
Let me explain something to you. The laws of contract in every jurisdiction are the same. There has to be initially an offer, an acceptance, and consideration. That forms the basis of any contract.
Yes, ma'am.
There is an offer, an acceptance, and consideration.
No.
Absolutely, there is here. It's not as if Miss Stella, she said to you, if you don't sign this agreement, I'm going to amputate your arm at the elbow.
Okay.
That's different. She's allowed to say to you, I'm not hiring anybody or maintaining in my employment anybody who doesn't sign a non-compete clause. They're perfectly valid.
Okay.
And she's allowed to say that to you. You're allowed to leave. This is America. And she's allowed to fire you. She's the boss. She's allowed to say to you, in my shop from now on, everybody has to wear a uniform. I don't want to wear a uniform. Then you're fired. You don't have a right to a job unless you meet the requirements of your employer. The only question that I have is how many miles?
So there's not a set radius. It's all about reasonableness. The geography must feature a limited geography, for example, within a defined area such as a city, normally unenforceable to prohibit employees from working for any competitor across the country.
No,
but as long as it's
that's too onerous.
Exactly. But as long as it's a defined geography, it tends to be reasonable.
Okay. So what you're saying, Ms. Stella, is that you have proof that in the state of Pennsylvania, it either has to be 3 or 5 miles. It can't be both.
It's just, it just says between 3 to 5 miles. I do not have that proof. I apologize.
How many miles is the shop that you opened up from her shop?
It's 2.8 miles away.
Well, that's too close, madam. She's absolutely right. You breached her contract.
Okay. If I took her clients, then
you breached her contract. It says that you cannot open a competing business for 5 years, and you certainly fall within the radius. You violated this contract.
Okay.
She's absolutely right.
All right.
When you left in August of 2022, where did you go?
I left. I didn't have anywhere to go.
So when was the next time you worked?
When I opened my own business.
And when you opened your own business, that was 3 months later.
Yes, sure was.
Don't be snippy, Miss Stella. It was 3 months later. How many of her barbers came with you?
3. 4 of us.
3.
3 total. 4 total.
4 total. You and 3 others.
Mm-hmm.
Is not
Yes,
an
ma'am.
answer. Yes is the answer.
I'm sorry.
Yes is an
ma'am.
answer. And the 3 others, did any of them come from her shop?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so well, it's a breach of contract. It's clear.
They all left on their free will.
Okay.
I can't. I apologize.
Breach of contract. You have a counterclaim, which is interesting. And your counterclaim is for money owed for defamation of character, slander, harassment, and emotional distress.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not interested in the signing of this agreement.
Okay.
I'm interested in how you claim the plaintiff defamed you.
Well, her and her husband had a whole conversation about me on Facebook, ma'am.
Just a second. I'm not interested in her husband.
Okay.
I'd like to see what you claim she did to defame you.
She proceeded to write emails to my family.
Just a second. All I have to do is see what you claim she did to defame you.
It says that I have a current
Kevin,
record.
would you please get what she says she believes is actionable? Maybe.
She said I was stealing company time.
Hold on. Could you please just hand it to me?
Yeah. And I've been manipulating people, Your Honor.
Don't speak. Julia. And who is Julia?
My sister.
Okay. You wrote an email to Julia.
I wrote a heartfelt email
Just a
to
second.
Julia.
Just say what. Who cares? Next.
I do, because I'm a recovering addict, and for you to go out and say those things.
She's allowed to write a private communication to somebody. That's not published. That's not published. You say she's defamed you publicly. She's allowed to write whatever she wants in a private letter to somebody.
She stopped a police officer and lawyer on the street and told him that I was using drugs, actively using drugs.
Just a second. If you have that person here, I'll actually hear them. But you don't. I'd like to see what you claim is actionable that she wrote about you. You said she posted something on Facebook. Well, Facebook is a public forum.
Yes, it is.
A letter to your sister is not a public forum. All I care about is what she wrote. Fine. Oh, she says the cancer is gone and the entire aura of the shop has changed. The dark cloud is gone. It's almost a clean slate with your new employees. You can expand and turn Giovanni's into a barbershop powerhouse. It was meant to me. What defamation is that? You talk. What?
They can't. They look. The cancer. Like, I'm not a cancer.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Right.
She went around and told people that I was actively using hard drugs, ma'am.
Madam!
Okay.
You're entitled to fire anybody that works for you. I can look at Kevin and I can say, you know what? Last year I loved you. This year not so much. You're fired.
And later today.
After they said the price was different, I told her no. I said, I'm not going to do it.
Not in these emails. You got the teeth, she got the bill.
I told her not to do it when it happened.
You had to go like this. Look at me. You had to go like this.
Nicole Messino claims her former employee, Felicia Stella, breached their contract and stole her customers. Felicia is countersuing for harassment, slander, and defamation.
If you bring me a witness, I will hear you. I'm not hearing what she told a policeman on the street or what she told strangers. Nothing that you've shown me that was published is defamation. What else?
I was countersuing also for mental anguish. Your Honor, I am a recovering heroin addict, and I am open about that. And I tell people that.
Just a second. You have to understand, I didn't say that, and good for you if you got your life back on track. Terrific for you. But in order to have emotional distress, you have to have somebody who's guilty of something that's illegal or against the rule of civil law. So far, you have nothing. This doesn't say anything, that the cancer is gone and the aura of my shop is now different. You may have been hurt about it, but that's not actionable. Do you understand?
I do. I thought because there was a full conversation, that was my misunderstanding, that there was a whole conversation between her and her husband on social media with my name in it. So that was,
Sorry. And you breached your contract with Stella.
Your Honor, may I say something?
About what?
About the contract and
Because I am also a former employee of hers.
No, you can't. Did you sign a contract?
I did.
She threatened to fire you if you didn't sign it?
Correct.
That's what she's entitled to do. She's the boss, applesauce. She's the boss. People in this country think that they're entitled to jobs. Once you have a job, you're entitled to keep it. Pay attention. You're entitled to fire anybody that works for you. I can look at Kevin and I can say, you know what? Last year I loved you. This year, not so much. You're fired. He has a contract. I have to pay him out of his contract. I would never say that to him because I adore him. But he's capable of being fired. He's capable of being fired for anything other than a violation of the Constitution, which means you're being fired for race, religion, sexual orientation, probably a couple of other things that I've forgotten, some of which I think are absolute nonsense. But they're entitled to fire you if you refuse to sign an agreement that prohibits you from stealing their clients and their employees. They're absolutely
We were independent
entitled.
contractors.
I was an independent contractor for 8 years. Tell me how they were her clients. They were not her clients.
You violated the terms of the contract. You cannot open up a competing business 2.8 miles away from her within
She tried to make me
in 3 months.
unemployable.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $10,000. You count the claims dismissed. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
Apparently, I was a cancer that worked there. Apparently, people didn't like me.
I think it was very fair. She signed a non-compete.
When I quit, so did 5 other of her staff members.
She turned all my employees against me, and she staged a walkout and took them because I was making changes to my business.
We're doing great. We're thriving. We're growing. And things have just been beautiful.
You know what? May the best business win because she pushed me to go further. I opened up a second barbershop in By Felicia.
You know, I still can't get past the fact, Sarah, that in this country now there's a sense of entitlement that once you start a job for a reason, for a non-reason, and we're not talking about the violations of
the Constitution.
We're talking about
parameters set by bosses.
Parameters. You have to be in at 9 o'clock. Well, but I can't because I get up late, I'll stay later. I can't be in by 9 o'clock. You're fired. Period.
Yeah.
I want you to continue to be my employee, but we're changing from 1099s to employees. If you don't sign this agreement, you're fired.
Yeah. As soon as I read the papers, I knew the defendant had misunderstood the definition of duress because it was smeared all over her answer that I only signed it under duress, duress this, duress that. Well, being offered the handbook of the place in which you were employed and being offered a choice of these are the new requirements. If you like it, great, sign it, and continue working.
If not,
and if
adios.
not, goodbye.
Yes.
And that's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, but don't sign it, then go off and open up 2.8 miles away a competing business and take 3 people with you. Yeah, that's a no-no. Okay, so you took the car to go and get some weed for the 2 of you.
Correct. As I'm pulling off out of the complex, a shootout broke out.
So you put your head down and crashed the car?
Yes.
Did you report the car stolen?
Because he took it without my permission.
That doesn't make sense to me. If it doesn't make sense, it's not true.
This is Judy Justice. Tanaya Fox is suing her ex-boyfriend, Keontae Williams, for destroying her car after being involved in a shootout.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 3019, Fox versus Williams.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, Miss Fox, this used to be your boyfriend.
Yes.
From when to when was he your boyfriend?
We started dating in 9th grade, beginning of our freshman year, till we stopped talking right after this accident happened, so about January.
Okay, could we have dates, please?
January in 2023, we stopped talking.
How old are you now?
18.
How old were you when you started dating him?
14.
Okay. Did you ever live together? At your house, at his house? Did you ever live together?
Not technically, but...
Not technically. I'm dealing with reality. In reality, did you ever live together?
No.
Did he ever stay at your house? Did you ever stay at his house?
No. But we was together all the time. a lot.
What does that mean?
Like, we didn't live together, but we was always with each other.
Where?
At his house.
Better. Were you together at his house while you were still in high school?
Yes.
Is that your mother?
Yes.
Did you have your mother's permission to stay at his house? Is that right?
Yes.
Great. How old were you when you started staying at his house?
17.
So you were there for a little while before this incident occurred. Now, you had a car. What kind of car?
Malibu.
What year?
2016.
When did you purchase it?
I don't remember the exact date, but the month was in January. Before the accident happened, I only had it for 2 weeks.
Was there a note on the car?
Yes.
Do you have insurance on this car? You had to have insurance on the car?
Yes.
Full coverage?
Yes.
This is what you're claiming. You're claiming that you were at his house and he asked to borrow your car. You said no. Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that you said no. So let's move on from there because it's not particularly relevant, but the car was involved in an incident. And you want him to be responsible because you say it was his fault that this incident occurred. He said it's not his fault at all. He borrowed the car. He didn't borrow the car to go and buy or negotiate for drugs at all, but he was just driving somewhere and he got in the crossfire of a shootout and the car was bullet-ridden and destroyed.
Correct.
Now, you're at your house, and this is in January or February?
January.
January what?
21st.
What time? Uncross your arms. What time did you take the car?
Around 8, 9 o'clock.
At night?
Yes.
Before you took the car, where were you? Were you in the kitchen, the bedroom? What room were you in?
In the bedroom.
What was she doing?
In the bedroom with me.
Doing what?
Laying down, watching TV.
Had you had dinner at your mother's house? This is your mother, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Had you had dinner at your mother's house?
No.
Where had you had dinner? It's between 8 and 9 o'clock. Everybody's eaten. Even, well, old people eat at 4:30 in the afternoon, but even people your age have finished with dinner by 8, 9 o'clock. Where did you have dinner?
In the house. I don't eat much, so I don't know.
Well, you have to eat. You had nothing to eat?
No.
Nothing. Okay. So now I want you to tell me what inspired you to go out at between 8 and 9 o'clock. Don't look down.
I went out to buy weed for us to smoke.
Okay. Is that where you told her you were going?
Yes.
She say okay?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds right. Where'd you get the money from?
Myself.
From where?
Working.
Okay, so you took the car to go and get some weed for the two of you. Is purchasing marijuana legal where you live?
No, ma'am.
So you have to go to not a dispensary or something where it's legal. You have to go and buy it on the street?
Correct.
How much money were you going to spend on marijuana?
Like $60.
What?
60.
So tell me what happened. So now you're going to find somebody on the street. Did you make arrangements with them before you went?
Yeah.
Did you call somebody and say, I'll meet you, you know, on...
Yeah, I called somebody and I went to go meet up with them.
And you got into the car.
I got into the car. As I'm going to get the weed, I got it.
So you picked it up?
Yes.
And you gave the seller the $60?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh is not an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happened?
As I'm pulling off out of the complex, a shootout broke out. And
what complex?
It's a complex behind the YMCA.
Go ahead.
And I put my head down once I heard the bullets hit the car, and I was driving straight. I hit the curb. The car stopped. It didn't move.
Did you give the guy the money?
Yes.
So it wasn't the guy that you bought from. It was somebody else? You don't know. So you put your head down and crashed the car?
Yes.
What did you crash into?
The sidewalk.
Okay, you have pictures of the car? The car was impounded, I assume.
I do.
I'd like to see it. Oh, that's pretty disastrous. Now you had full insurance on this car.
Yes.
And you had only had the car 2 weeks.
Yes.
So did they total the car?
The insurance people?
Yeah.
No. I had tried to put in a claim for them to get it fixed, but they denied it. The police totaled it and put it inside the pound.
I didn't understand a word that you said, so keep your voice up and speak slowly.
The police put it inside the pound, but the insurance people, they just denied my claim that I put in for it to get it fixed.
Why?
They said that because the keys was in the engine that it was technically my fault. Like, our fault. I have the denial letter.
I'd like to see it.
Tanaya Fox claims her ex-boyfriend, Keontae Williams, took her car without permission and destroyed it. Keontae is countersuing Tanaya for stealing money from his Cash App account.
Where's the car now?
It's still inside the shop.
No, I actually don't understand this. When was the last time you made a payment on the car? Tell me when the last time is you made a payment on the car.
This month. On
Show me. Did you report the car stolen?
Yes. I have a police report.
I'd like to see it.
I actually think it's with those papers.
Oh, here it is. Just a second. This isn't a report of a steal. First of all, he didn't steal the car. He took the car with your permission. There's no question in my mind that living together, he went out to get you some weed with your permission. It was 8, 9 o'clock at night. There's no way that you said to him, no, you can't take it, and he took it anyway. It just doesn't make sense for a 17-year-old and an 18. That doesn't make sense to me. If it doesn't make sense, it's not true. Who decided to say that the car was stolen and tell that to the police? Who thought that that was a good idea?
Me, because it was. I didn't give him permission. I actually told him to take his mother's truck, and he's told me no.
Okay. Have you driven her car before?
Yes.
How many times?
A lot.
How much? More than 20 times? Yeah, sure. So I don't believe you. Now, the problem with you reporting the car stolen is that they didn't find that the car was stolen. They found the keys in the car. They found no evidence of the car being stolen. So they said the car wasn't stolen, the keys in the car. That means somebody had permission. That's still not a reason for an insurance company to deny a claim if you had full coverage on the car. So I would say that you're suing the wrong person. He's not going to pay for the car. He's not paying for the car.
Your Honor, I have evidence that he actually went out to go sell marijuana. He wasn't buying it. I actually have a text message because we know who shot at the car. It's actually his cousin. I text.
Oh, just a second. Do you know who shot at the car?
No.
I have messages of me texting the person and telling them.
I'd like to see it. So you know who shot at the car? Madam, you know who shot at the car, is my question.
Yes.
Then sue them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also have messages of me telling him how much my car is to get repaired, and he's telling me that he's only going to give me what I put down on my car.
Let me explain something to you. I'm not giving anything against him. If you know who caused this accident, who shot your car, which is what you say, you have to sue him.
I'm suing him because he took it without my permission.
I don't believe, and I'm telling you that I don't believe that. I'm telling you that I don't believe that. So I'm telling you to sue the person who caused the accident. That's what you have to do, not him. I don't believe he didn't have permission. There's no question if you lived at his mother's house with him, he's driven your Chevy Malibu dozens and dozens of times.
And
so I don't believe that he didn't have permission.
He took it out permission more than one time in life.
Sue the person who shot up your car and caused this accident. You say you know who it is.
My car would have never been inside an accident if he didn't take it out my permission.
Do you understand what I just said to you?
Yes, I do.
I said I don't believe you. Sue the person who shot up your car and caused the accident. You know who they are. File a police report against them. How's that? Is the person who shot up a car a regular selling drugs?
Not that I know of.
That person was there the night that you were there allegedly purchasing drugs?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Is that the person who shot at your car?
I don't know who shot at the car, ma'am.
She knows. Did he tell you who shot at his car?
Yes.
See, I believe that.
No.
You know who shot at the car?
No, ma'am.
Do you know what cousin she's talking about?
Absolutely not.
First name? You know that person? You know that person?
No, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Okay, so your case against him for that is dismissed. He got a counterclaim, taking money out of her. Did you take money out of his Cash App?
No.
Show me proof she took your money out of Cash App.
Well, I don't have any proof, but she have took over my whole email.
Just a second.
She never gave my email.
Just a second. I said, show me proof she took money out of your Cash App, is what you said to me. I don't have any proof?
I don't have any proof that she took it out, but I have proof that I gave her money.
I don't care whether you gave her money or not.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
I didn't ask you anything. He has a counterclaim that you took $600 out of his Cash App without permission after this incident occurred. He says he has no proof. His counterclaim's dismissed, as is your claim. Now I'm going to do the second half of this case. You sit down over there, you move over there, and you're the mother. You're his mother. You move over here. Perfect.
Sit down.
Call the next case.
Case number 3019, Williams versus Fox.
Yeah. Did you swear, Miss Williams? Kevin?
Raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the truth in these matters today?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Delilah Williams is suing her son's ex-girlfriend, Tanaya Fox, for vandalizing her truck.
Miss Williams, you are the mother of the defendant in the last case, and
Yes,
it is
ma'am.
your claim that the defendant vandalized your 20-year-old truck.
Yes.
First, tell me when you purchased this truck.
I purchased this truck in June of 2020. I had it about 3 years.
Who did you purchase it from?
I actually purchased it from my uncle.
At the time of purchase, you had to register the car?
Yes, ma'am.
How many miles on the car when you registered it?
125,000.
That was 3 years ago.
Yes.
And how much did you pay your uncle for the car?
I gave him $5,000 for the car, the pickup.
You give him $5,000 in cash?
Yes.
And you kept full coverage on the car, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
It is your claim that she vandalized the car, and I'm going to get to proof that you have that she vandalized your car. According to you, you had full insurance on the car.
Yes.
And the insurance paid you for the damage, totaling the car, according to you.
Yes.
And gave you how much money?
They gave me $9,000.
They gave you $9,000 for a car that you paid $5,000 for.
Yes.
So far, you're ahead of the game, $4,000.
Yes, I was.
And then, according to this, you bought the car back from the insurance company.
Yes.
For how much?
$2,100.
So you're still ahead $2,000.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have your truck back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what you're asking for in your lawsuit against the defendant, if I find that she actually vandalized your car, is $3,879.
Yes.
Are you out of your mind? Are you really? Seriously? Are you out of your mind?
How is that being out of my mind?
Yeah. I just given you the numbers, so you must be out of your mind, or you think that I am. Okay, so let's just for giggles. Why don't you show me what proof that you have, proof that the defendant vandalized your car?
Well.
Not well. This isn't a well. Show me what proof you didn't see it. You didn't see it.
I did not see it.
Right.
But I know
now,
she did it.
I don't care what you know. I don't care what you know. I said proof. This is a proof case. Show me proof that it's your case. Show me proof that the defendant vandalized your car.
I do not have proof, Your Honor.
Well, then you have no case. Goodbye. Thank you very much.
This court is adjourned.
All right. I'm happy with that.
This one.
I came home from my birthday photo shoot, and He asked me to use the car to go sell marijuana, and I told him no to take his mother's truck.
No, but she gave me her keys. I went to go do that.
But he said that the car didn't have no gas, but I still told him no to lay down. And when I dozed off and went to sleep, I woke up and he was gone.
You hit a gunfire, you hit the bullets hitting the car, and you just hope for the better.
Because he was my boyfriend, he didn't necessarily, like, wouldn't want to put him in jail. Like, I knew he was gonna answer the phone for me. But it's just like, it's the principle of, if I told you no, don't take it. Like, it wasn't that deep to call the police, especially because he's someone that I love and care for. I'm not gonna put him in jail.
My child could have lost his life. We here for some money, but he could have been dead right now.
We're not together.
Oh, it's over and it's gonna stay over.
I was in Chicago, Illinois, and I was with two other friends. And around the time that she said that she called my mom, said it happened, I was gone from Indiana for the day before that happened and the day that it happened.
Yeah, sure she was. That's what they all say.
There were so many pieces of that case that were reminiscent of other things. First of all, Sarah, I'm still not comfortable with the wisdom of a parent letting a 16, 17-year-old go and live with her boyfriend in their house just because they want to.
Yeah.
And, you know, live together. I just think that it's such poor judgment. And I know that that's provincial and maybe not au courant with what's going on in the world. But I just find it not in a forward trajectory of anywhere.
Seems to lead to more problems that we see than solutions.
So than forever.
Than quick engagement.
And forever
Usually
romances.
more problems.
Yeah. And the second thing that I found particularly troubling was that this young man, who I think gave me totally honest answers.
Seemed honest.
Maybe not about selling, maybe instead of buying, he was selling. I'm not sure. But so casually, knowing that it's illegal in the jurisdiction where they live to buy, sell, or possess marijuana. And I'm not getting into that discussion now. There should be a federal standard so you know where you are from one state to another. But he knew it was not legal. And how casually he admitted committing a crime.
I did look it up beforehand, and then when he said it, I just cleared the tab because we didn't need the information anymore once he admitted that he knew it was against the law. It was certain thing. I only looked briefly, but it looks like it's a misdemeanor crime with a fine to possess up to a certain amount in Indiana currently. But yeah, but I mean, so in addition to casually admitting to, a misdemeanor here today, also just the demeanor of the defendant speaking about his car being shot up with him inside of it. It was like, I had oatmeal for breakfast. I was like, that seems like something, it was very casual, very monotone. Like that would be a huge life event, in your mind, in my mind, in, many people's minds. And it's just unfortunate that it's become so ingrained in what's going on today that it's just like...
Yeah, and I wonder whether that would have happened had the laws been different in Indiana. Don't know. Yeah. Certainly, his mother knew that her lawsuit was ridiculous. She got paid twice. She made out like a bandit in having...
Still made a profit.
Yeah, she made a profit on
vehicle.
it. Yeah, right. I don't know how that happens. Anyway, interesting.
Its biography, its ecology, marine biology, pathology, immunology, pharmacology, biochemistry, biophysics, and there is also computational biology, biogeography, biostatics, biotechnology. These are biologies of all fields, relations of biology with other science, chemistry, biochemistry, economics, bioeconomics, and math, computer, computational biotechnology, many science, statistics, geographics, biogeographics, biophysics, biologists, relations of biology with other fields, and it's also biogeography, computational biology. Biophysics contains biophysics who study rules, understanding functions, muscles, bones, joint. Computational biology, scientists use mathematical expressions, mathematical models, computer simulations to understand biological systems, involve analysis, biological dates, and sequence of amino acids in proteins. And biogeography, and it is distribution of living organisms with geographical regions of the world. It can influence climate and distributions of organic systems as studies biogeography. Biostatistics deals with the principles of statistics to analyze and interpret data related to living organisms. Biostatistics plays a crucial role in biological research, healthcare, and public health. Biotechnology deals with the use of living organisms or their components to develop beneficial products or process for various fields, including healthcare or agricultures and environmental management. For example, biotechnologists use bacteria for the production of insulin to treat diabetic patients. And same as marine biology, branch biology, which deals studies of Ocean. It helps understand ocean biodiversity, discovers new species, address marine conservation issues in coral reefs. Coral reefs sports a wide variety of marine. This study of disease causes and efforts and pathology helps in disease diagnosis, prevention, and treatment. For example, pathology studies immunology. There is branch in which we study components of immune systems and their role against disease. Immunologists study to develop vaccines, treat autoimmune disease, and improve immune response. Pharmacologist branch in which we study drugs and their effects on the body, and this helps in the development of new drugs. For example, new antibiotics are developed that are used to kill bacteria and treat bacterial infections. These are just as few of many branches of biology. Each branch refers obviously course insights into a fascinating world of life, contributing to our understandings of complexity and beauty of our plant. Biology is closely linked with other natural sciences such as chemistry, physics, earth science. These connections help us understand process, environmental interactions, and the complexity living examines study of structures and reactions of different chemicals substance present in living systems. The study of chemical reactions is called biochemistry. And biochemistry, we discuss all chemistry's finds and biological issues. And these are more careers in biology, veterinary medicine, environmental science, microbiology, genetic counseling, nutrition, dietitians, public health, biomedical engineering, bioinformatics, diagnosis, treatment of disease in animal and surgical in animals, solving issues related to pollution and natural resources, research on microorganisms to understand their impact. This is microbiology and studies veterinary, medical, environmental science. Now, genetic counseling, providing support to people on genetic conditions and testings. These genes are tested and how to manipulate and how to these are varies in one person to another. Nutrition, advising proper dietary habits to promote health, and there is all protein, seeds, all fats, carbohydrates are maintains and suggest us to improve our weight, our health, our overall health decision. Public health, improving health of communities through education, policymaking, research, design, and medical equipment to improve. And these are so to say. Now other branches are also related to biology, which are physiotherapy, fisheries, wildlife, agriculture, animal husbandry, horticulture, forestry, and promotions. And these are physiotherapies. Anyone from us can physiotherapy after intermediate and to become degree in physical therapy to physicist is needed. Fisheries also and biological fields after BS and Master of Studies degree in Zoology Fisheries. Agriculture scientists improve farming products, a 4-year BS degree in agriculture after FSc in pre-medical or pre-engineering. Animal husbandry also 4-year BS program are available after intermediate, and horticulture also same as forestry, farming also same as after intermediate. We can avail these we can admission in these fields and become specialist in 4 years, and to improve our careers in biology, more careers related in biology. These are facts and scientists of biology get a comprehension of various phenomena of life after their FSc with biology. They can select further studies for diverse careers. For example, these are we have discussed already, and medical surgery, dentistry, pharmacology, all are these fields. These are almost 10 fields. These are stem cells, sexually reproducing organisms. All different types of cells arise from single cell. The zygote is an unspecialized cell, but it has the ability to make new cells which can differentiate into specialized cells, such as unspecialized cell that has ability to make a variety of specialized cell types is called stem cells. During development, when the earliest stem cell zygote divides, it makes different cell lines. The cells of each line differentiate into specific type, like skin cells, muscle cells, nerve cells, blood cells, and within cells within a cell. These concepts it exemplified by the organelles that each carry out distinct functions necessary for the survival. For instance, mitochondria generate energy, and endoplasmic reticulum synthesize proteins and lipids. Lysosomes break down waste materials. In this way, the functions of each organelle contributes to the cell's overall survival, growth, and functioning. Across cells in matricular organisms, the division of labor extends across the cell. Each type of cell performs a specific role and contributes to the overall functions of organism. For example, muscle cells are specialized for contractions and movement. Nerve cells often transmitting means, and red blood cells for carrying oxygen. The intercellular specialized allows complex organs to perform a wide range of functions. Liver cells toxic ammonia is converted into less toxic from urea in liver, hence it assists kidney functions. Liver cells, they are also called hepatocytes. These are specialized for a lot of important functions, like storage of glycogen, iron, some vitamins, detoxification of toxic substance, productions of cells. They have prominent nuclei for maximum activities required for making enzymes and other proteins. Large number of mitochondria provide the necessary ATP for an energy-intensive process. Expensive network of for SER helps for extensive detoxification and lipids hypothesis, and unit of liver section of liver cells, and